Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and I'm going to do something I haven't done on my videos before. I'm going to tell you the highlights from my reset experience, and I'm doing it specifically for you guys that are subscribers here on my channel. So as you know, I am on a mission to teach over 1 million people how to live a fasting lifestyle. And this past Saturday, I brought top fasting microbiome specialists, mindset specialists to my resetter community live. And lives were changed. The information was profound, and I don't want you to miss out on it. So I just did a video recapping all the highlights. So get ready, take notes. I'm about to drop some serious great information that it could have an amazing effect on your life. And if you love this video, as always, share it out, and let's get 1 million people doing a fasting lifestyle. Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and today I'm going to do something a little different. I normally like to bring you guys like one subject and dissect that one subject, but we're just coming off our amazing reset experience, and we got the opportunity to meet so many of you in person, and we got such great feedback around what people learned that I really wanted to give you all the highlights from that event in case you missed it. And because there were some gems, and if you were a resetter that was there, please, in the comments, please put the gems that you found at the experience. And I also want to dive into why these live events are so powerful, because there's such a great opportunity to learn, but there's also a really cool opportunity to realize you're not alone. And it was really fun for me to see the Resetter Nation really embody this idea that they're all on this journey together and find some kindred spirits. But I'll talk about that at the end. Let's start off with my highlights. So I had 4 major highlights from this weekend. So remember, if you're not familiar with the Reset experience, that I brought in some guest speakers, Dr. Daniel Pompe, who is a fasting expert, Dr. Shane Morris, who's a microbiome expert, Andrea Siebert, who's a life coach and a mindset expert, and then I talked about toxins, and I brought current science so that people could see what the current studies are showing about toxins' effects on the body. So the first person that spoke was Dr. Daniel Pompe, and he is so passionate, and I've learned this from him. He's one of my mentors. He is so passionate around this idea of feast-famine cycling. So we talk about it here on my channel a lot about diet variation. What I want you guys to realize is that there is a season to everything. Right? I mean, we are not different from nature. Nature has seasons. The day has a light and a dark. There needs to be the tides ebb and flow. There is an ebb and flow to everything. So this idea that we're fasting over and over and over again without feasting is hurting the human body. And here I am to tell you guys on a YouTube channel that is pro-fasting. I am telling you, if you're not feasting and you're just fasting, you are hurting your body. We were meant to accomplish both. And that's what he really dove into, the science on that. He has a great book called Fasting for a Purpose, where he walks you through like how do you build muscle while you fast. He has some really key principles. But what I want you to think about is that you are primitive, your body is designed to keep itself alive. And so we have these really interesting mechanisms inside of us that will make sure that we always survive, a survival above all else. So if we go back to primitive days, in the winter, we didn't get food. In the winter, we were actually it was easier for us, we were built to fast because we didn't know when food was coming. Whereas when the summer started to hit, we were actually made more for feasting. So we have both mechanisms in our body. Now, you guys have heard me here talk about how that's autophagy and mTOR, but we have to honor the fact that there is a time to fast and there is a time to feast, because your body has mechanisms for both. If all you're doing is stimulating autophagy and fasting, you will eventually cause problems. Your hair is going to fall out. You're going to lose muscle. Some of you might gain weight because those toxins will be redistributed. Some of you are going to get anxious and depressed. So if you're in the camp of fasting too much, I want to encourage you to come over and start feasting and looking at some diet variation. Throw in some different types of feasting. I've done videos on the different types of feasting. If you're in the camp of you're new to fasting, most likely you've been feasting too much and you need to come over here and start to understand what it's like to fast a little longer. But Dr. Pompe spent an hour on the science discussing how the human body was meant to feast and fast and go in and out of this cycling. So if you want to know more about that kind of stuff, we're doing that in my academy, teaching people how to personalize that. So just put Reset Academy in the comments and we'll make sure you get an invite in. But that would be my number one for those of you that are fasters. Make sure you're honoring these feast-fast cycles that your body was built and designed to really thrive in both environments. Okay, second speaker, Dr. Shane Morris. He is a microbiome expert, and there was a couple really fascinating things that I learned from him. And I know a lot, again, both these guys, so smart. I know a lot about what they're teaching, but there's always one or two things, right, that you can walk away and learn. So the first thing, there are two things that we get handed down through the generations from our mother, our grandmother, our great-grandmother. It usually comes through the mother's line. And one is our toxic load, and the second is our microbiome. So Dr. Shane talked about how the microbiome, your microbiome, has been passed down from mother to mother to mother to mother to you. So you literally right now share the microbiome that's similar, has pieces that are similar to your great-grandmother, your great-great-great-grandmother, that you have a microbiome that's been passed down. And when you want to look at what type of food you should be eating, go all the way back to your ancestry and see where they grew up. So for me, I am German. Like I go back to all my mother and her mother and my mother's mother, my grandmother's mother, and you're going to find that it all comes back to Germany. So my microbiome is going to be is going to thrive with foods that are more not necessarily German today, but that are more in alignment with what can be grown in Germany. What Germany is actually, that part of the world is creating or growing. I'm going to thrive on that because that's my lineage. So you might be Scandinavian, you might be Asian, Indian, it doesn't matter. But if you trace your lineage back, go look at the foods that those people are eating and know that that's what your microbiome is going to thrive off of. How cool is that, right? Okay, I was like, oh my God, the thought that my great-grandmother's microbiome is in me, super exciting. The other thing is that he talked about how these microbiome, we talk here on this channel, how they provide neurotransmitters that make you happy and help you sleep. But he talked about how they also do some really pivotal things, like they help you get rid of pesticides. They help you get rid of glyphosate. In fact, Dr. Shane is the primary scientist at Systemic Formulas, and he's coming up with a product. He already came up with a product that helps to break down glyphosate so that we can get glyphosate out of our body. Those of you joining us in our next detox will be using that product. But it has a prebiotic piece to this product so that we can feed the bacteria in your microbiome that breaks down glyphosate. How cool is that? We also know that your microbiome breaks down estrogen. And those of you that are going through the menopause process or you're post-menopause and you're having signs of estrogen dominance, if you're getting hot flashes, a lot of times that's coming from your microbiome in your gut, that it's called your estrobolome, that is not breaking that estrogen down. So the estrogen is rising up. And I'm actually writing a book right now that will outline all the things you can do in these menopause years to help with your hormonal balance. So stay tuned for that. So those two things were like, whoa, we forget that these bacteria, and he's like, the bacteria are all over us. They're on our face, they're on tongue, they're in our nose. He's like, they're around organs, and they have such a sense of purpose to help our health. And if we just keep spraying antibiotics on them and killing them, we're going to miss out on some of these real key things like detoxification. And we need to learn how to feed them, like go back to your ancestry and look at what your ancestry is and see how you can feed your microbiome based off of that. Okay, third person that talked was Andrea Siebert, and she is a life coach. And my takeaway from her and how I feel this relates to you guys is this idea that how important it is that you step into your identity. We are all different. We all have different purposes on this life. And one of the things that we want to make sure as you guys come into a place of health and understanding how to move your health forward, that your health and your identity around your health is unique to you. A lot of you guys have identities around your health of illness because you've been overweight and sick for a long period of time. And so we want to give you a new identity of possibility and hope. So she talked a lot about I am statements, the power that the brain doesn't know the difference between what is real and what you're thinking is real. So if you're thinking, I suck at fasting, I can never lose weight, then guess what? You're going to suck at fasting and you're never going to lose weight. But if you're thinking, I am so excited about this health journey I'm about to go on, I know that I can really succeed at fasting. I know my body heals. I know I'm living in the most powerful organism on the planet. If you step into these positive statements, then you will embody those. And it really takes training your mind. She also talked about the importance of self-care and how self-care if you're not taking care of yourself, eventually your body's going to break down, and that's where disease forms. So we've interviewed Andrea here on Resetter, my channel, and done a lot on self-care. Okay. Fourth thing was my talk, and I gave the talk there. And for those of you that are joining me at CalJam, I will be giving a version of this talk at CalJam to over 3,000 chiropractors and their patients. And it's on toxicity. And here's the biggest aha that I had as I researched this PowerPoint and put together my presentation, is that we are living in the most toxic time in human history. And these toxins are building at faster rates than ever before. But did you know that they're suppressing our immune system? There's a current study showing that they took kids in Africa and they gave them a measles vaccine. And then they measured their antibody reaction to that measles vaccine. And what they found is the people that had a weaker reaction to the vaccine, meaning their antibodies were less powerful, actually had higher levels of what they call PFAs or forever chemicals. So we now know that these toxins are suppressing our immune system. And so the power of detoxing, I'll continue to talk about that here on my channel. Many people got that. We also talked about how autophagy cleans up the cell, but it also destroys the cell. And that in that destruction, heavy metals and pesticides and glyphosate and dioxins and forever chemicals and BPAs and all these fluoride, all these environmental toxins can be released and they can get redistributed. We talked about that with you guys here on this station last week about what does autophagy actually detox. So what was really fun is a lot of people mentioned about how each one of these concepts really was synergistic with the other one, and people really saw a bigger vision for their life, which is really what I'm trying to do with you guys here on YouTube. I did this video specifically for you that are my subscribers. I want you guys to not just watch a video and go, oh, that was cool. I want you to know how to take this information and apply it. So I'll finish on this thought. There are 4 things I told everybody in the audience to do with the information they learned there, and I'll tell you the same thing with the information you're learning here on my channel. First is pick one thing you're going to go after. Maybe you need to learn how to do a 24-hour fast. Maybe you need to learn what your toxic load is, but pick one thing that you want to accomplish. What is it you want to put your focus on? Then the second step is what's going to be the one action step that you take to accomplish that. So if you want to understand fasting, maybe you're going to spend, I heard a lot of you guys do this, maybe you're going to spend the next week watching all my videos on fasting and understanding the science behind fasting. If you really want to know your toxic load, maybe it's time to do a heavy metal test and understand what your heavy metal load is. Maybe you want to join us in our group detox and really dive into detoxifying yourself. Whatever it is, your one focus and your one action step. Okay, and I'm saying one, you guys. Don't start taking on all these things. Third step, who's gonna support you? We all need a cheerleader. So you need one cheerleader. If you can get more cheerleaders, awesome. So you can have your spouse, you can have a friend, have somebody who you can turn to and say, hey, I'm going to learn to detox. That's going to be what I'm going to do for the next couple of months. Can you support me in it? Or maybe you turn to your spouse and you say, I'm done eating breakfast. I'm going to really understand intermittent fasting. But tell one person. If you don't have that one person, then what we encourage you to do is to step into our community here. We have check out our community page on YouTube, check out our Resetters on Facebook, or join us in the Academy. So we're trying to surround you with community because everybody needs their one person or their one community. Last thing I'll tell you is that once you've got your one thing, you know your one action step, you know your one person or your one community, then who is your one person you're going to go and teach what you learn? The absolute best way to understand a concept is to first embody it yourself and then turn around and teach somebody else. So you could share one of these videos out that you like here on my channel. You could invite somebody to join you in my Reset Academy. You can tell somebody the next fast training week what you're doing and bring them along and then teach them. But when you turn around and teach, you'll never forget it again. You'll have it for life. So a lot of information, but it was such a cool experience. We're Monday today. I'm doing this video on Monday, and it was our Reset experience on Saturday. So grateful for all of you that came and live streamed, and I hope you all come next year because it is going to be a yearly event. And I'm so grateful for you for stepping up for your own health and taking responsibility of you, because you live in a flippin' miracle, and don't forget it. Hope that helps.